This is Sky News with Colin Brazier.
Hello there and good afternoon. Around 2,000 students could be deported after the government stripped London Metropolitan University of its right to admit foreign students. The university had its highly trusted status for sponsoring international students revoked after the UK border agency said it hadn't addressed failings uncovered earlier in the year. The National Union of Students is warning that unless the students find another sponsor within 60 days, they will be sent back to their respective countries. Well, a statement posted on the university's website reads, "The implications of the revocation are hugely significant and far-reaching, and the university has already started to deal with these. It will be working very closely with the UK Border Agency, Higher Education Funding Council for England, the National Union of Students and its own Students' Union. Our absolute priority is to our students, both current and prospective, and the university will meet all its obligations to them."
This is an important part of immigration control. I think everyone knows that one of the big loopholes in the immigration system in the past was the student visa system. It's very, very important that we continue to attract genuine students to our universities, some of which are among the best in the world. But to do that, to bring foreign students in, universities must show that they can make sure they're genuine students, they're here to study, they've got the appropriate qualifications, and they are actually turning up to study.
Let's bring in Sky's Tom Parmenter, who's outside one of the university buildings. Tom, we're talking about potentially up to 2,000 foreign students who could be affected. It's a fair assumption, certainly the government hope, that many of them will find places at other universities.
They may have that hope, but certainly not a lot of the students that we've been speaking to here at the university hold out much hope. For the timing of all this really is very difficult indeed, because you are a matter of weeks away from the start of the new term and transferring onto an appropriate course that is available at an establishment that is going to take these students. There's an awful lot of ifs and maybes wrapped up in all that, so a very confusing and bewildering time for a lot of students. But what the National Union of Students have been telling us is, why on earth is this measure punishing so many students who, through no fault of their own, find themselves in this situation? They've come to this country to extend their learning, come to tap into our university system, spent an awful lot of money to do that, and then in some cases, a matter of months away from completing their course and their studies, to be told that they may face deportation from the country. The NUS argue that this shouldn't be about punishing students, it should be about going after the faults within the administration here at the university.
If there are systemic problems with the institution's administration, then put the restrictions on that. If you were to turn around and say, don't recruit international students from next year, I wouldn't be happy about it. But that is very different from telling over 2,000 legitimate students that they have to leave the country because of what they're claiming is the institution's fault. The wider issue here is that this won't affect just London Met. This will affect every single university across the UK. The reputational impact on students now sitting in these countries across the world, and whether or not they choose to come to the UK, is going to be a huge issue. So let's not pretend this is just about London Met.
Whatever the wider implications of this decision to revoke the agreement that is in place that allows this university to bring in international students, it is really those who are in that boat. It's around 2,600 or so who are international students now contemplating exactly what the next 60 days hold. If nothing changes within those 60 days, then it is likely they may be told that they will have to leave the country, and it is a very difficult time. This is what a few of the students have been telling us this morning.
Because of a few people that have messed about with the system, we've all gained the brunt of it, and it's really not fair. And I feel so sorry for a lot of these people that are just going to have to go home or not have an option at all. But hopefully it will not be the case for me. I don't know.
Yeah, 7 people together who came from India. We study the same course. We live together. So whole of my house is like upside down. So, and we have a dissertation to submit tomorrow. So we are not able to concentrate. So I don't know what happens. We have to wait. Listen.
Now, from London Metropolitan University's perspective, well, they are facing these very serious question marks about how they've been conducting their business, about the English language levels of their students, whether or not they've been turning up to their studies, and also that figure that has been put out by the UK Borders Agency, about a quarter of students sampled at a particular time not having the proper documentation to allow them to be in the country. Now, we've been speaking to the university in the last half hour here, and they are refuting some of those points and say that their research says that that is not the case, and it is a bit more complex than that, and they will be setting up a task force and a helpline for students who they say are their absolute priority. We'll bring you that full interview here on Sky News this afternoon, in which the university outlined their case, and very much a defensive position, stinging criticisms from the government and the stinging decision to revoke that licence.
Tom, thanks very much. The new Barclays